Hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie again. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island, Season 4, Episode 7. Um, it's I've really been pleasantly surprised by the way that the islanders seem to be getting along, and I like the way that they celebrate each other's victories and are there to sort of comfort each other when someone is going through having a bad day. Anyway, the episode starts off with everybody's trying to recover from the shock of their recoupling, in the sense that Andy has decided to recouple with Sydney, and I don't think anybody else expected that to happen. So they Andy then takes Sydney aside, I think, just to make sure that the two of them are happy with the recoupling, and that there's no you know Sydney is happy with the recoupling. I think that's what he was more or less after. I think Sydney already knew that he wanted to choose her, otherwise she didn't seem as shocked as you would have expected her, because most people, well, I've also watched the UK Love Island, and if someone is not happy to recouple with someone, they've always made it known. And so it was surprising to see how she seemed okay with it. Andy has a conversation with Isaiah, just to sort of, I think, to sort of smooth the rough waters and to sort of apologize for what happened. And Isaiah is not having it. Isaiah is very upset. He felt, bro code, and he should never have recoupled with Sydney, because he knew that Isaiah and Sydney were trying to get to know one another and they had a strong connection, which I think it's still early days. But anyway, you never know how long it takes for people to create a connection. And so Andy also went, and Andy went and tried to make peace. I think after the reaction from all the other islanders, Andy felt the need to make peace with everybody involved in their sort of love square. And he went to Mady, and Mady stood her ground, which I'm very proud of her for. She handled it way better than Valerie did, in my opinion. Yes, she did tell him that bridges were burnt and there was no more room for them to pursue anything romantically. But I think she handled it way better. She wasn't running around telling everybody what happened and sort of what she had said and what had been said. So it wasn't pleasantly, it was shocking that after Sydney had been making out with Andy and had been having these conversations and seemed to agree with everything he was saying, suddenly when she sat down with Isaiah, she started making it seem like she was in a couple with Andy, but she really, her main focus was Isaiah. And to me, it doesn't make sense. If your main focus was Isaiah, you should never have kissed Andy. You should never have entertained Andy and allowed him to believe that there was a possibility that the two of you could build a connection. But that's just me. Isaiah, sort of, Maddie came over to Isaiah and thanked him for saving her, really, because he saved her from going home. And I think the two of them agreed to sort of try and form a connection. And in the debriefing, when everybody was having a conversation and Sydney was sort of trying to say to the girls, she felt bad and she hoped that Isaiah wasn't going to be upset with her. Um, so at that point, that's when Maddie felt the need to tell Sydney that actually Isaiah had kissed her in bed. And I don't get why Sydney is upset. I don't get why Sydney feels so aggrieved that she's crying. She was part of this mess. She agreed to this mess. She participated in this mess. She has to deal with it. She has to put on a big girl knickers and sort of deal with whatever the consequences are for her actions. That's just my opinion. I hate to seem mean, but anyway, it is what it is. And then Maddie and Isaiah. The problem is Isaiah is still not over Sydney, so I don't think he's really trying to build a connection with Maddie. I think it's just a relationship of convenience. And he looked at the girls left. He thought he thought it would be best to save Maddie because it wasn't her fault that she was suddenly caught up in this love square. That's the impression that I got. From there we move on to Zita and Timmy. Zita and Timmy, I said yesterday, are one of my favorites, and I'm a bit nervous because of the promo from the next episode. So they had a conversation in which sort of Zita asked, Timmy, that where Do you think this connection that we have or this thing that we're building will work out in the real world? And Timmy, on his part, said yes. And then afterwards went and confided in Jesse to say, I've been backed into a corner. I came into the villa saying I would never make any promises I wasn't able to keep. And so I don't understand why he just didn't tell Zita that I can't promise you that we will work. I can't promise you that we won't work, but I'm willing to put in the work, the effort, if we do manage to sort of survive until we leave the island, the villa, and see what happens afterwards. So of all the people he could confide in, he confided in Jesse, who's just come out of his own mess. And Jesse, on his part, sort of agreed with what Timmy was saying, because Timmy was saying, oh, it's rubbed me the wrong way, and now I'm a bit, I feel a bit icky and whatever. And it's like, that's not necessary. She didn't ask you, are you going to propose me to me? She didn't ask you, are you going to marry me? Or she said, do you think this relationship could work? All he could have said to her is, I think we need time to get to know one another, and then we'll see whether it actually works. At this point, I can't say yes or I can't say no. I think that's what he should have said. So I'm a bit nervous, really, about the two of them. Um, Deb and Jesse seem to be getting along. I think they've recovered the speed hump, or after the speed hump of Valerie. They are enjoying each other's company. They were messing about with Deb's face mask, and um, I hope Jesse mellows down. I hope he doesn't get excited now that there are two new islanders, because if he breaks up with Debbie the second time, I don't think she'd be happy to take him back. I don't think she'd be happy to take him back. And so we'll see how that goes. And then Felipe and Courtney. Felipe and Courtney are they're enjoying themselves, in my opinion. I think, as I've said, I think their relationship is more sexual. You could see them having conversations, although we didn't quite hear the conversations. When they did the challenge, they obviously had to make out, which is one of their specialities anyway. Um, they made out in bed. They are the first couple to have the duvet up, so God knows what happened underneath the duvet. And I don't know. I'm just here to watch it and see how far that goes. I don't know. We'll see. And then my second favorite couple, oh my God, I love I loved Serenity, but I love Serenity with Tyler, and I hope nothing breaks them up. So Serenity and Tyler, they after the recoupling, they did go off to have a conversation, but we didn't hear their conversation. And the next time we saw them was at the challenge. And then afterwards, after everybody sort of met for drinks, they had said and sort of had a conversation and were getting to know one another. And I like the fact that they're talking about, they're asking each other the questions you need to know if you're planning on building something with someone. The fact that they're asking each other about their love languages, the fact that they're trying to understand each other and sort of know where the boundaries are. And oh my God, I'm Team Isaiah. I liked Isaiah how he was cheering them on when they were kissing. And so I don't know. I don't. This is what I said that I like. I like the Islanders, and I like how they celebrate each other and they're there for one another. And everybody was, speaking highly of Tyler's speech that he gave at the recoupling. I don't know. I was here for it. I lived for it. I enjoyed it, and I'm so happy for them. And then we did have the two new Islanders. I personally think before that, with the challenge that they played, the wrestling challenge, Isaiah and Mady won, and I think they gave it to Isaiah and Mady just because they've been through a lot, and I think they just wanted to give them something, especially for Mady, to make her smile, because she was really upset and she's been caught in this love triangle that she had nothing to do with. And then from there, two new islanders arrived, Bria and her brother Chazz. And so they had a conversation whereby they were discussing, um, you know, they sat down by the fire pit and they had a conversation with all the islanders, sort of discussing, what, who they were interested in, which is to be expected. And because Maddie had been praying to the Love Island gods because she knows that she's not in a romantic coupling with anyone because Isaiah is still caught in the triangle with Courtney. And it was oh god, it made me smile, the reactions, because I think it was nice when they were sitting at the fire pit and they were sort of being asked who they saw themselves going to pursue. And I think Deb asked the question that I asked in my previous review for Live Island UK, where I said, I don't understand why people, when they walk in, they don't consider the person that they walked in with. But we all know that Chaz and Brie are brother and sister, so there's no way they'll be able to couple together. And so I liked Tyler's response. Oh my God, I liked Tyler's response because Chaz said, the people he's looking at, as soon as he said Serenity, Chaz went, good luck. Good luck, which means he's ready. He's ready to go, toe to toe with this guy. And you could tell when he was in his confessional, his response, the way he spoke about it, that this guy's trying to step on my toes. You could tell it had dropped him off the wrong way. He wasn't happy with it. And then when Bree said, Tyler was one of the people she would be going after, Serenity, because when Chaz said so, and he said, it's a bit of healthy competition. Serenity said, "Okay, I'm here for it." And then when it turns out that Brie said she was interested in Chaz, in Tyler, Serenity, you could tell she was worried. And I like the fact that Tyler kept stone faced. He didn't smile. He didn't do anything. He just sat there and just kept a straight face and just looked straight ahead. I think because he didn't want to upset Serenity. So I don't know. I don't know. And then after Deb had quizzed them about why they are they each other's type, that's when it turned out, they're brother and sister, and everybody was surprised. And I like the fact that the islanders were asking, so what if we have a challenge when we have to kiss every islander? How are they going to kiss every islander when they're brother and sister? It was like, okay, I don't know, We'll see what happens. Anyway, so they then received text messages where Bria and Chaze are going on a date with one of the islanders each. So I don't know. I just want them to leave my couples. I am worried that Timmy said, Bria is sort of ticks all his boxes. I hope he doesn't break up with Zita just so he can go out with Bria. I hope Timmy doesn't break up with Zita just so he can go out with Bria. I know she's a beautiful girl, but I really hope that doesn't happen. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. It was interesting when people started mentioning who they liked and the responses they were getting. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I digress. Thanks, guys, for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye, everyone.